Right then, we are back, final 2 games of the season, and after the last episode where we finished off with that 4-1 victory over Wolves, we beat Crystal Palace by 2-0 in the first game off camera. Goals from Renan Lodi and Brennan Johnson sealing the deal there. Then we took on Aston Villa and we lost that game 4-2. We were completely outplayed in this. Emi Buendia opened the score and Brennan Johnson got one. Then Buendia, Ings at the double, and then Lyle Taylor scoring a penalty late on to make it 4-2. After that, we beat Bournemouth 5-3 in what was a really topsy-turvy game. Dominic Solanke missed a penalty, then opened the score in half an hour. Brennan Johnson equalised on 32. They then went into a 3-1 lead. Stevens and Solanke scored on 64 and 72. But then goals from Dale Taylor, Julian Larson with 2, and Worrell with the 5th to win that game 5-3, come from behind victory, doing what Man United did to us earlier on in the season back in March. After that, we absolutely hammered Newcastle by 5-1. Tayo Awene, Morgan Gibbs-White getting 2 just before half-time. Isak getting 1 back just after half-time. Then Awene and Gibbs-White at the double to complete his hat-trick. 2 in 3 minutes there to make it 5-1. We then beat West Ham 2-1 in the last game. West Ham were a bit of a thorn in my side on FM23 at Aston Villa. Skamaka opened the scoring. Awene and Brennan Johnson both scoring before half-time, getting that 2-1 victory. So we play Leicester and Southampton today. Leicester are in 11th, just above us. Southampton are just below us in 14th. We are safe. We were safe from a game that we didn't actually play. So just before the Newcastle game, we got the news through that we were safe. So we weren't able to do it of our own accord, which is unfortunate. I'd like to come back for that, but no such luck. We are 13th. We win today. We go a point behind Leicester, and we have a chance to finish above them, which would be a massive personal achievement for me if we could do that. We go into the opening game against them, hoping that we can get the job done. In terms of the statistics of the players, Tayo Awene has 16 goals, Brennan Johnson has 13, Gibbs-White and Jesse Lingard have 6 apiece, and then a couple of players on 3 and 2. As for the top assist makers, Emmanuel Dennis has 6, Jesse Lingard has 5, Gustavo Scarpa has 5, Morgan Gibbs-White and Nico Williams both have 4, as does Tayo Awene. So players starting to really chip in and do the business for us now, and that is what we really need. It's just players to keep scoring. I said in one of the comments on one of the videos, I think this team is one out-and-out goal scorer away from being a mid-table level side on the regular, and hopefully we can do that over the summer. Finances, we're 4 million in debt. We have no transfer budget, no wage budget, but it reckons that our minimum guaranteed budget for next season will be 21.5 million. Hopefully with a higher league finish we can increase that. Wage budget is slightly worrying because it's only going to rise slightly, but maybe we can move some money about, find the right size, maybe a freebie. That might be the way to go, an older player on a freebie, just to secure our position in the Premier League. This season has gone a lot longer than I planned. The sacking and then rehiring at Nottingham Forest, meant that we came back a little bit earlier there when we came back for the Fulham game, the Leeds game and the Everton game in the opening episode at Forest. Otherwise we want to come back till about March or April. So this would have, the last episode actually would have been the last episode of the season. That was the plan. Anyway, enough talking from me. Let's get into the opening game of this episode. We play Leicester. They are 11th. We are 13th. We have a chance to go a point behind them. And let's get into it. Local derby, of course, here at the City Ground. We beat them as manager of Leicester. We beat Nottingham Forest as manager of Leicester earlier on in the season. So hopefully we can get the reverse on them today. Game has started pretty poorly here in the opening 10 minutes. There's the second shot of the game. First shot on target. Not a lot happening. Hopefully we can sort of start creating stuff. 25 minutes in, still no highlights. Just look at their formation. It's very similar to what we did, and there's a lot of our players in there. Everson is the change in goal. Satalo's playing. Castagno and Justin are the wing backs. Dewsbury Hall and Uribe are more defensive than we had them. Pasalic is playing behind Adams and Silva. So a lot of our signings in there. No James Maddison. No Luis Muriel. It's different, and nothing has happened in this first half. Absolutely dull. It is 0-0 at half time. I also love the fact that our team talk was that we owe Leicester, even though I was the Leicester manager and I owe myself for the last time we met. But whatever, it is what it is. 53 minutes in, nothing has happened. And the opening goal of the game, and I forgot that I have left text only on for this, and I've just thinking it is 2-0 now, and that'll be checked. I will show you the first goal in a second. Completely forgot to reset my settings for this opening game here against Leicester. Goal is awarded. It is 2-0. Here is the second goal. Tayo Awoniyi getting the second goal. He got the first as well. O'Brien with the ball over the top. Great first touch. One-on-one with the goalkeeper into the corner of the goal. And it is 2-0. And we will just show you the first goal as well. So Tyler has the ball at centre-back. Gives it into Dewsbury Hall. His ball to Pasalic. A little bit of pressure. Great tackle from Worrell. McKenna gives it out to Renan Lodi on the left. Into Lingard. Larson, who's been brilliant since we brought him into the side, actually. I've got to be honest. Very surprising. His ball into O'Brien. Good run to the byline. Save from Everson, and Everson, this is why we didn't play him. This is why we signed a goalkeeper. 2 mistakes there, allowing us the chance to get the goal. That was the opening goal of the game, and we saw the second goal just then. Tayo Awoniyi getting both goals, and he will be close to having 20 so far this season. As Larson goes through, takes a deflection, as Turlo can head it away off the line, as that was going to find its way into the back of the net. And like I said, Julian Larson, since bringing him into the side, has been fantastic. I think he's got 4 maybe now, and very, very good player. Looks a very accomplished player at 21 years of age as well. I think he could be in this side for, he'll be in this side for next year for definite, especially if we do struggle to find that striker. As Brennan Johnson pulls back to Owen, his shot is deflected, he's going to loop up, and Everson takes it comfortably. Pasalic through for Andre Silva. Can he put it back? He does put it back in Patson Daka, and that is the problem we had with him all of the first half of the season. Just could not find the net when it mattered, and Everson makes a fantastic save there from the free kick of Renan Lodi. It remains 2-0. Shouldn't matter too much here as we go into the final 5 minutes. Leicester haven't produced an awful lot, and McKenna now picks up the ball, lays it back to Lodi. Can he get the ball into the box? He does. Lingard's arriving at the far stick, and it's headed away from him there. O'Brien can pick it back up though, runs into the box, onto his right foot now. He's going to get the shot away, and he just shows a bit too much of it to the Leicester player, and it's cleared away. And chance again now. We just keep coming forward. That will be the end of that highlight. And like I said, this takes us within a point of Leicester. And all of a sudden, I mean, if we were to come in and finish above the team that we started at, I think that proves that the board were completely wrong to sack us when they did. I think we were starting to turn things around when the sacking came. So we were 1-3 in a row. As Larson nips in ahead of Everson, and Julian Larson gets his 4th of the season now. I've preempted that a little bit. He'd only got 3. Gets his 4th of the season, nips in front of Everson, who just stalled on it, nods it past him. 3-0. And this is why my first sign at Leicester was a goalkeeper, just showing it right there. Just dwelled. And Julian Larson makes it 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest gets some pride back. Last home game of the season, a 3-0 victory over Leicester, getting revenge. I've won both of these East Midlands derbies now. One at Leicester at the start of the season, one at Forest here at the back end of the season. Brilliantly done. Tayo Awoniyi getting 2 goals, Julian Larson getting the 3rd, and we go within a point of Leicester. I think we might move up to about 12th now with that. We'll just check the league table, and we're up to 13th. We are level on points with Everton. Goal difference is 5 worse. Point behind Leicester. We have a chance to finish 11th this season if we win our last game of the season. That is fantastic from where we took over. It is the final league day of the season as we travel to St Mary's on the south coast to hopefully get an 11th place finish. That would be the best case scenario today, as Nico Williams now edge of the box, cuts in field a little bit. Never and Lodi hits woodwork and it's cleared away. And the big thing is that ball goes out for a corner kick. Now we know we're safe. It is time to properly start planning what the idea is for next season, because there is so many players we've got on loan. Just off the top of my head, you've got Lodi. Scarpa goes past his man and it's touched out of play. Renan Lodi's also on loan. There is one of the defenders, it being Kone. There's another one. There's about, I think they said there's 8 players on loan. We need to work out who we're going to bring back, if we're going to bring them back on loan, if we're going to try and sign them, what the plan of action is going forward. And yeah, it's just because obviously we're going to lose maybe the core of this side when that happens, and obviously it's not ideal. A goalkeeper might be, I think a goalkeeper is needed regardless, because I don't think Wayne Hennessy, and I'm not sure who the other one is a brilliant understudy. Probably need another central defender, probably need someone in the central midfield area. Gustavo Scarpa's decent as that boy's headed in by Musa Niakata to make it 1-0, 37 minutes in. We open the scoring here in the final day of the season. That corner kick in towards the near post, it's a bullet header. Goalkeeper doesn't even move. 1-0. And that would take us, as things stands, to 50 points, would it? Did it take us level with Villa? hasn't yet updated as that ball goes in, and it's going to find its way in, and it does, and Mohamed Salisu heads in from around the penalty spot. The header away was poor. Dean Henderson was in all sorts of bother there, and it was just headed back in. Simple goal, really poor to concede. The header from Fruder just gets it away, but Henderson was all over the shop. No communication between the defensive midfielder and the goalkeeper there, and it is 1-1. And it is updated. We've gone up to 48 points. We're back down to 46 now, and hopefully we don't concede 2 goals right on stroke of half time as Brennan Johnson breaks through here. Brennan Johnson has a chance, and Brennan Johnson gets his 14th of the season. What a finish from him! This will probably be his last action of the season with this little knock that he's got. I think Julian Larson is going to play the second half. But Brennan Johnson gives us the lead a couple of minutes after being pegged back. It was a poor ball to Bella Kopcha, and Brennan Johnson just nipped in with the knock, just couldn't quite get away from his man, but did enough, took the ball wide of the goalkeeper, and it's a great finish under the goalkeeper. It is 2-1 here. Oh, it looks for it, and Undav smashes it in. Dennis Undav makes it 2-2 immediately after half time. There's been goals on 45 and 2, and 45 and 20 odd seconds. Very, very tightly together goals, and it is 2-2. It's all happened here either side of half time. El Younisi got the head in, port from the defender, and Undav smashed it through the goalkeeper's legs. It's 2-2. Into the final 15 minutes, and other games including Leicester and Everton mean that we wouldn't be able to finish any higher than 13th, even if we were to win this game, as that is headed away by Frula. Saruhi into Salisu. Salisu gets towards the byline now. Ken Williams hold him up. He makes a challenge, but Salisu hangs on to possession of the ball. Frula nips in, wins that back. Tayo Awani looks for Julian Larson, but Carl Walker-Peters cuts that out, goes down the line for Armstrong. Renan Loddy nips in now. Scarpa is dispossessed by Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters for Undav, and he puts it wide of the post. Really good chance there for Dennis Undav, and it was a poor miss there, as now Ward-Prowse will whip it in. It's headed away. Can we get the breakaway? We can't. Oh, it's been missed, and Henderson just gets there ahead of Undav. Better goalkeeping from Dean Henderson there after a little bit of a mistake in positioning for the Salisu equaliser. It was at 1-1. That ball goes over the top for Dennis now. Dennis pulls it back, and Julian Larson gets his 6th of the season. Julian Larson is everywhere. Actually, wait. I thought he only got his 4th in the last game. Oh, I have no idea. It's 6 for the season according to the graphic anyway. Julian Larson, like I say, been brought in the side, the third striker really that we've got, and he finds the net from inside the 6-yard box. 8 minutes left to play. Southampton 2, Nottingham Forest 3, and he, like I said, could be around this squad next season. Definitely looks that way, the way things stand. Leicester and Everton are going to get their results to finish above us. We are going to finish in 13th. It's a great performance from us to go from 20th to 13th. Comfortably survived in the finish as Emmanuel Dennis is brought down in the box. I think referee's just going to check this. Penalty is awarded. It is a penalty with not quite the last kick of the season, but it's close to it, and Gustavo Scarpa makes it 4-2, gets the points back to the City ground. We will finish the season with a victory away at St Mary's at Southampton, and what a half a season it has been here. We're going to finish in 13th, 7 points clear of 14th. Job is done from us. Larson off the bench to average a 7.3, and what a job from the boys. So we actually only have 3 loan players. Loic Bade, Renan Loddy and Dean Henderson are the three defensive players, which is not great considering Renan Loddy and Dean Henderson are 2 of our better players, but it's something we have to look at. Maybe we can bring them both back in. That would be the hope. But if they don't, I mean, just looking at this, there's over £200,000 of wage budget to be saved. Well, just under, sorry, £200,000 of wage budget to be saved. No, just over, sorry. If those 3 players leave, and I think that might be the way to go. Bringing players on more reasonable wages. You've got Jesse Lingard and Gustavo Scarpa on high wages as well, 30 and 29. Definitely something to look at, reassessing how this team are going to go. In terms of the value, Tayo Awani is our most valued player, between 33 and 37 million pounds. Nico Williams, 24 to 30. There may be a lot of upheaval in this squad come the summer months. So here we are for the end of season review. A lot of this won't mean anything to us. New arrivals, Emmanuel Dennis was the best of the new arrivals, average of 7.09, 1 goal, 7 assists. Tayo Awani, only average of 6.96 with 18 goals and 4 assists from 40 games. Emmanuel Dennis didn't play that much throughout the whole season, which is kind of weird because he did very well for us. We did rotate him in and out, that will be honest. We were expected to avoid relegation from the Premier League. We finished in 13th. Tayo Awani got 18 goals. We got a B rating from the board. FA Cup, we didn't play, but we were knocked out in the fourth round by Arsenal 1-0 after beating Rotherham in the third round 3-1, and out in the second round against Wolves after a 1-1 draw, and I presume it was on penalties then that we went out on. Moments to remember, really late on in the season, that 5-1 victory, Morgan Gibbs-White with a hat-trick over Newcastle was our biggest win of the season. The match to remember was a 3-1 victory over Southampton right at the start of the season. We weren't there for that, and that also provided the goal of the season. Tayo Awoniyi got 2 in the first 2 minutes, and Renan Lodi's goal on the 90th minute was the goal of the season. We'll have a look at that if we can. No, we can't. Full match details for fixture are not available, so we can't look at the goal of the season, but that goes to Loney Renan Lodi. Sponsorship is 17.53 million, broadcast revenue 93.99, corporate and hospitality is 1.5, competition prize money 15.55, match day commercial and retail is 1.23, 1.62 in total merchandise sales, 15,000 shirts sold. Tayo Awoniyi was the top shirt seller. And as for the best 11, Dean Henderson in goal, Renan Lodi, Niakate, Warrell and Aurier across the back, Frullo in front of them, Scarpa, Lingard and Dennis as the 3 attacking midfielders, and Brennan Johnson and Tayo Awoniyi as the 2 strikers. 2 strikers got 32 goals between them, and they were key to why we stayed up this season. And the accolades: Tayo Awoniyi was the fans player of the season, young player of the season was Brennan Johnson, goal of the season Renan Lodi, Tayo Awoniyi was top goal scorer with 18, Emmanuel Dennis top assist maker with 7, Tayo Awoniyi most player of the matches with 6, top average rating was Awoniyi as well, just under a 7, and Joe Warrell most passes completed per 90 minutes, 47. Some of those were record breakers: most overall goals by a player in a season, most assists by a player in a season, most clean sheets by a player in a season. Dean Henderson 7, that was a record breaker, as was the worst discipline Renan Lodi, 17 yellow cards, and most player of the matches Tayo Awoniyi with 6. Youngest goal scorer was Dale Taylor, aged 19 and 138 days, and the oldest goal scorer was Lyle Taylor, 33 years and 27 days. It's history in the making, as it always says. Nottingham Forest took a little while to get going, but really set themselves up for the most unlikely outcomes with this unstoppable late run. And once we got rolling, it looked hard to stop, and that is exactly right. Oh, we've got a dynamic manager timeline. So we're hired at Leicester City, signed Alban Lafont for 6.5 million from Nantes. Yuri Tillemans went to Real Madrid for £20 million. New transfer records, we brought in Che Adams. Andre Silva came in from Leipzig. Joseph Sotalo from Dynamo came in as well. We were then sacked, went into Forest, sacked on the 25th of January, into Forest on the 3rd of February, and Tayo Awoniyi, 18 goals, club record, and that took us to the end of the season. Supporter profile update: the core supporters has gone up to 38%, fair weather has dropped down to 17%. Develop players using the club's youth system, play entertaining football, get the better of our rivals Derby and Sheffield United if we happen to play against them, play attacking football, and once again avoid relegation from the Premier League. Board's club vision: work within the wage budget, grow the club's reputation, maximum 1-year contracts for players over the age of 32, maximum of 2-year contracts for players over the age of 30, avoid relegation and be competitive in the FA and Carabao Cup. New season team report: notable strengths. Tayo Awoniyi has been in fantastic form recently. Number of talented young players, including Zach Abbott, Mauro Bandera and Nicky Hogarth. Sergio Aurier is one of 3 good options at right back, good options at left back. Lack of determination. Some players don't want to work hard and not good in terms of long range shooting, so we need to really work on some of these issues inside the culture of the club, really. Squad will be back on the 10th of July. And Arsenal are interested in Tayo Awoniyi, which is interesting. Have to be a lot of money for him to go. We haven't had any finances yet, so we'll look back at that at some point or another. The next episode is going to be later on today. It's just going to be looking at that manager dynamic and just talking through this first season, both jobs, because obviously the end of season review takes you through what's happened at Forest. We'll take you through both clubs. I think I still have the save file from when we got sacked. I think I saved it purposely to do this with, so we'll go back there, have a look at our first half of the season at Leicester, second half of the season at Forest, and just show you the first season in full and talk you through what has happened here, as we'll be back tomorrow for the transfer window, hopefully, if I can get it all done in time, where we're going to our first full season at Forest, second season on the FM23 beta. Next season we'll go through a lot quicker than this season, as we try and hopefully get 3 seasons in before the full game comes out on the 8th of November. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, help people find the video. It'll be tweeted out, retweet the tweet. Let's get it out there, let's get more people seeing the video, and let's get to 100 subscribers before the full game on the 8th of November. I think we're 15 away at this present moment in time. Thanks for watching, see you soon, goodbye.